Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. Glad you could join us on today's webinar. I'll be discussing the Boss Radio program here shortly with Dave Pimper. Dave's an expert in the radio show side of the business. He's done a great job with us over the years. Dave's been heavily involved in both the insurance and security side of the business. So appreciate Dave joining us here in a few minutes. Kind of going over some initial slides here regarding things that IAMS offers to the field on a basis for business and things we do to help you out with creating more leads and opportunities on your side with our creative team and other opportunities we have through IAMS. We have our usual builders this year. You can earn some additional incentives based on production the first 6 months. We've got levels anywhere between 100,000 up to $1 million. Some great things you can qualify: cash, seminar programs, Boss Radio, workshops, a lot of different things you can qualify based on production your first 6 months. So really nice combination we're offering here on new business provided by you as the agent, and a great way to get a jump on things and help IAMS with the costs you have regarding seminar presentations, doing mailings, anything that we can help you out with, we'd be glad to do that. We have our referral program also. You can refer agents to IAMS. Great way for you to build up some side monies based on your referrals. We also have marketing reimbursement, reimburse $100 for every $100 or $100,000 of annuity premium. Good way to have IAMS help you out with those lead costs. We have a great back office support team and great new business team. They do a fantastic job on following business through from start to finish. They scrub your apps when they come in. We get those sent directly into the home office. They follow that process all the way through underwriting, making sure the transfer happening in a timely fashion, wrap up any loose ends, and then make sure you get paid as quickly as possible once that business has been issued and get that policy out the door to you. So great job on that end. We have a paperless app system now, Firelight. We have most of our companies utilize that, and really a nice efficient way to get business sent through the channels. I know with the longer applications now, they've gone from 2 pages up to 50. I'm definitely in need to simplify things based on those longer apps. So the eApp system is a great way to go. If you have not used it, definitely want to take full advantage of that eApp system. And we got a great creative team, as I mentioned. They help you out with advertising. You want to redo your website, redo your logo, change your company colors, do digital marketing, do emails, social media, advertising. They can help you out with all sides based on that. So basically, you just have to be licensed through IAMS. Business helps to defray the costs based on what you want to get done. But definitely want to talk to the creative team here. We have about 4 or 5 individuals that work on that side of the business. So definitely a great feature we have here through IAMS. Website, we do have our own website here through IAMS. It's been up for a number of years. Great information you can pull off of that: supplies, rates, different industry links we have on there. You can jump on and look at an AM Best report on a company or something else you'd like to review. That's all available on the IAMS website. So definitely take full advantage of that. We have a retirement analyzer software program. It's a very good client-friendly software program. Some great print offs you can do, some great presentations, very colorful, a lot of graphs, charts, a lot of valuable information you can utilize. It shows kind of where clients stand today for retirement, where they want to be 10, 15 20 years down the road. Great way to go on that end. We also kicked off a retirement wealth management side of the business here. We have an RIA here through IAMS now, a great way to kind of get your bases covered on all sides. It's always good to have both the security side and the insurance side as an agent. I just launched a quick poll. If you have interest in getting a call from our wealth management team, they'll be glad to get in touch with you based on your interest in getting involved on that side of it. They can help you out with getting your Series 65 passed, get you all the information you needed to get that under control. I believe it's open for another 10 seconds or so. So anybody that has not voted, go ahead and get voted in. I'd be glad to have one of our wealth management specialists give you a call, kind of review what we offer on that end of it. Went ahead and close that up. We've got our trip just announced here early in the year. We're doing a Mediterranean cruise coming up in 2022. Qualification is 19 months. It started December 1st of 20, goes through June 30th of 2022. Should be a fantastic trip. We're doing a trip around Italy, stops in Croatia, Montenegro, Greece, a lot of stops in Italy. Really a great time will be had by all people that get involved with that trip. So if you're on your way to being qualified, definitely keep up the good pace. And we've had a number of people already qualify for the trip itself, but should be a fantastic time had by everyone that does attend. We have a presence on Facebook and LinkedIn. If you have presence on that, you can friend us on Facebook or LinkedIn. Keep in constant contact. We can keep you up to date with things happening in the market. We do posts on a number of different items on that end of it and keep you up to date via the social media side of the market. Once again, we're glad that we can be joined by Dave Pimper this morning. I know Dave has been heavily involved in the radio side of the business the last number of years. Dave's done a great job here in the Omaha, Fremont area on creating more interest in people's investments and what they can do to create more safety, create some different options based on what the clients are in need of on that end. I know Dave works both in securities and insurance, does a fantastic job on both ends. Dave also does a lot of client workshops. Dave does probably 15 to 20 of those a year, maybe more than that, based on seminars and different activities that Dave does for clients and getting in touch of new clients. So Dave does a fantastic job on the seminar side. If you have interest in that, Dave can also discuss that with you based on his history and what he thinks is the best option for you in the field. So welcome aboard this morning, Dave. Glad you could join us here on a Tuesday morning.
Yeah, thank you much. I appreciate it, Matt.
You got it. And I know Dave is looking forward to enlightening everyone this morning on what he can help you out with on the Boss Radio side. So I'll go ahead and let you get started there, Dave.
Yeah, they can't say that I have a fat head on this picture, can they?
No, they cannot. You are definitely lean and mean on that picture there.
Yeah. That doesn't really even look like me. I look so thin. Hey, thank you for everybody for being on the webinar this morning. This is a fast webinar. We'll be done within about 15 minutes, but it's important information. If you've never thought about being on the radio, that might be a mistake. And I'll tell you why. Most people think it's going to be too expensive, but in reality, it really doesn't cost any more than what a seminar, what a dinner seminar would cost. And that might be all in. The cost on this might be between $2,500 a month and maybe $5,000. So $3,500, $4,000. We just put a person on. He was all in at about $3,400. When I say all in, what we're talking about is buying the radio time weekly. We do it off of a month basis, but a radio time, having a production company that goes in and takes out the bloopers, mixes it, edits it, gets it to the radio station, supplies the co-host, show notes. I mean, that's what they do. You've got a call center because it's a recorded, and there's a call center that we have that's extremely good, and they do a very good job of taking the calls and setting the appointment, and then those are preset appointments. So when you come on Monday morning, and we call everybody back that has signed up for an appointment. By far the majority, almost all of them do stick, and then there's myself with coaching. I've been in the business for 40 years, started back in '81, so I'm in my 40th year now. But I've been in radio for a little over 30 years, and I've had my own radio show. First 11 years was called Your Money Matters. That was a live 45-minute show on Saturday morning, and now I've got a Sunday 12 o'clock show with Retirement Boss Radio, and other folks are doing our radio show also. So if you have any questions, certainly type them on in. I'll be more than happy to go in and to answer those for you. I probably will do it at the end of the presentation. Um, Matt, I'm trying to get this to work. For some reason, I can't. To go to the next slide, but we'll get it going. There you are. You ask yourself why radio. You really should ask yourself why not radio. Radio reaches more Americans than any other platform, including your cell phone, including the personal computer. Yeah, radio is. I mean, think about it. Almost every day, especially people that are pre-retired or just retired, they are not listening to as many podcasts, or Google Play, what the younger kids do. And normally, if you're showing fixed index or in our group, we're normally relating to that age 50 and above. Reaches a more upscale listener. Basically, 93% of all the adults of $75,000 and over, they listen to an average in their household of 12 hours a week. That's on the radio. It solidifies you as an expert. I do lots of seminars, as Matt said. I do around 20 seminars a year, mostly around Social Security claiming. We have some retirement, a little bit of in-service non-hardship withdrawal. We do, there's another one called, um, you know, 6 mistakes that retirees make with their money. But most of it's Social Security. But I'll tell you, the difference of a person coming in from a seminar appointment, from a radio appointment, they're kind of in awe when a person comes in from a radio appointment, like, you're really the guy, huh? And news talk, no doubt it's hot. Even though Rush Limbaugh did pass, news talk radio is as hot as it's ever been. If you have any questions at all, simply type it on in, and I'll be more than happy. Matt, you're going to have to go and move those slides for me because
Yeah,
for
I'm
some
going to.
reason I don't know why. Okay, so who's on AM radio? Well, no longer is Rush Limbaugh. He's had people to replace him, but Glenn Beck, Commando, Sean Hannity, all of those people. And the reason they're on radio, because they're making money. We can go to the next slide. The celebrity part of Retirement Boss Radio, I cannot impress upon you. And because this is a turnkey system, an A through Z system, I will tell you right now, it's very thought out and it's proven. And our content that we have with our show notes, it's a very, very kind of open ended. Now we have notes. We would rather not have you read from the show notes, but there are certain topics that are very, very good. So let's just go into the 4 components, and I'm just going to do this. We don't have to follow along with the slides because I think it'll make more sense. So we'll leave it on that slide there, Matt. But it's a turnkey system. That's very important. It's recorded, and excuse me, there's about $225 worth of equipment that you buy on your own. So that's your investment going in out of your pocket. You got to get a professional microphone, professional headphones. You need a little sound box, a foam sound box, and then a little windscreen that goes over your microphone. Those are the things we get them from Amazon. Pretty darn simple. But what happens is, here is what happens. Let's say you're from XYZ city. First of all, if you're under a population area of 100,000, I don't think that this is going to be a good fit for you. It may give you credibility, but how many people actually call in for the appointment? You have to have over 100,000 in your metropolitan area, okay? So first of all, you've got to find the right radio station. And it's like location. You need the right station that people listen to, the right time slot, and a competitive price, or a fair price at least. If any one of those is out of whack, it just doesn't work. We just turned down one. It's a great station, great price, horrible time slot. Sunday night at 8:00. It's just not as many people listen at Sunday night at 8 as they do on on Saturday or Sunday mornings or afternoons. So we have a radio buyer. He's extremely good, one of the top ones in the nation, actually. Very hands-on. I just actually talked with him yesterday. I talk with him almost, or correspond with him almost every week. We're looking at a big city up in the central in this in the central north part of the U.S. It's a 1 million-person city, and we're trying to get on the number one station. And so you got to find the right station at the right time at the right price, like location, location, location for buying real estate. So that's the first thing. That's the majority part of your cost is going to be there. And you can go ahead and stay on that first slide, Matt. I'll tell you when to turn it, because it's easier for me just to go through the turnkey. So what happens is that's the first thing we have to find. Okay. Second thing, what happens once we find that, then we have a production company. So those, even though they're hour shows, we only record for half an hour, and we repeat a show from before. Saves us on production time. We still go for an hour, and very few people listen for the full hour of the show. Most people listen for 10, 15 minutes of a show, and then they turn it off. Not many people listen. It's different than television where they'll watch the whole show. It doesn't work that way with radio. Okay? So what happens is that the production company, they supply us with the radio host who's really the color guy, like a sports commentator color guy, and he's very good. Been in the radio business for 40 plus years. He's excellent. He does all of our Retirement Boss Radio. All of our toll-free phone numbers end in 2677, which is BOSS. Like my number, if you go on in and it's 877. Well, give you an idea. My phone number is 888 975 2677. 888 975 BOSS. People remember that. And that's what they write down to call on into the show. Lots of times they think it's going to be live, and of course it's not. It's to set the appointment. But that's what happens. So they edit it, they mix it, they take out the bloopers, they put in the advertising. There's normally anywhere from 10 to 15 promos, 15 to 30 seconds each a week promoting you and your show. Dave Pimper of Retirement Boss Radio. Dave Pimper of Retirement Boss Radio. It's a great branding technique. And I cannot tell you how many people say that they listen to my show. I mean, it happens all the time. All the time. We just had a member guest, and the people from Omaha never have met him. And he says, "No, I know who you are. You've got the radio show." And I said, "Yeah, I do. Thanks for listening." He said, "Yeah, sure. I enjoy it." Yeah. So, and normally compared to seminars, I've got a great appointment. It's for almost 600,000, which for me, that's a good amount of money to be working with. And this is the second time that they've drove 70 miles to come to my office in Omaha. They're in Iowa, a little city in Iowa, and very concerned about what's happened to the market and want something that has guarantees. Well, it's right up our alley, isn't it? Because we have a lot of insurance-based products, fixed indexed, fixed, etc., that can help them out immensely. Yeah. So that's the production company. Then when people call in, it goes into a live call center. That might have been the hardest thing for me to find. I had to go through a couple to find one that was really good, and we had to tweak it quite a bit. But I did this for 8 months, almost 9, before we started rolling it out to real selected few people. Now we're rolling it out in its entirety. But it's a really great call center. They're very good to work with. No call center is perfect. It's like a marriage. No husband or wife is perfect, but it's a very, very good association. And that is live. Their goal is not to mail out information. They can't. Their goal is to go in and set the appointment. We do it through an electronic calendar. I think that costs about maybe $8 a month, if I'm not mistaken. With electronic calendar, you go in and we fill it out. It takes us about 20 minutes every Friday. They know exactly what our schedule is. I mean, it doesn't say who we have the appointments with, that it's just blocked. Or like Friday afternoon, I take off a little early every Friday because it's a golf date. And so they just know they can't set any appointment, after 1 o'clock on Friday. So during the summer. So what happens is they're our call center. And then myself, I coach it. I coach it all the way through. So I coach you. To give you an idea, the show notes for this very last time, and I just recorded this Monday. but here is my intro. On today's show, we'll dig into the differences between Roth IRA and a Roth 401k. Which one is better? Is one right for you? Stick around as we take a deep dive looking at Roths. That's the intro, which I do, kind of the teaser that goes on in. But then we talk about, what are the benefits of a Roth IRA, Roth IRA drawbacks, contributions, the 2021 income limits for Roth contributions, and I've got all the numbers. All the numbers are here in the show notes. What are the benefits of a Roth 401k? What about the match? Roth 401k drawback, RMDs, conclusion. Which is better, Roth 401k or Roth IRA? Roth is a hot subject right now with interest rates as low as they are, and with President Biden and the administration looking at raising rates, especially where inflation looks to be, which is almost a given. A lot of people are looking at doing Roth conversions or Roths this year. And my second segment, my intro is, when we come back, we'll tackle what you should be doing as you reach the financial red zone, those all important years leading up to your retirement. And then I talk about become a super saver. I always do a quote, and a quote here after saver. I have a quote by Thomas Jefferson. Of course, he was the third president of the U.S. He says, "Never spend your money before you have it." And I talk about eliminating your mortgage, paying off debt, catch up contributions, avoid gaps in health insurance, make Social Security a plan, and then plan your exit. So that's my 30 minutes of show notes. And I don't read, but I can see, like for the Roth contribution limits, I have all the limits for single and for married. And so I just walk into that. And I'll tell you what you want to do. You want to be an educator in this type of format. You want to be a salesperson or at all. You want to be an educator. I will say the one topic that is hot, and I'm talking about hot, because on make a Social Security plan on the second. I always talk about Social Security, always, and because we also have a Medicare shop, we talk about Medicare. Now, I do it in a general way. Can't be giving out quotes or anything like that. We never talk about a specific investments. I talk about principal protection and guarantee, and because I have a broker dealer, I always talk about how it's only as strong as the company backing that guarantee. That's always my disclaimer. But I'll tell you, it's a very thought out program. If you follow the plan, your chance of being successful is fairly high. There are some people that just want to do their own thing, and I've not seen anybody be successful when they're out there just winging it. Why wouldn't you? I'm averaging right now between 2 and 3 appointments every week. If I can get 10, 12 appointments a month, and right now I'm at 11 appointments. This I think 11 or 12 is how many I'm going to have this month. But I've had as many as 24 appointments in a month's time. I think the least I've ever had is 7 or 8. Those are set appointments, and really that's how I'm driving through the pandemic. We did do some online seminars with minimal success, but face-to-face seminars are coming back. I just wrote a smaller piece of business from my last face-to-face, but face-to-face is coming back, but radio has been strong the entire time. Now, Matt, go ahead and go several ahead on the slides if you can.
Yeah, I had a question come up. Dave. So when you have someone that calls in, say that your roto program was last Sunday, and they called in Sunday morning to make an appointment or such, what's the best time frame for you to meet with them? Within 3 or 4 days? I mean, you give them like a week's worth of time to choose from, and what's your thought on that?
This is fairly wild, but Matt, I work I have a registered office in Omaha, Nebraska, and then I have my home office in Fremont, 30 miles to the west. Okay, so I go every other day. I have Fremont appointments on the Fremont days. I have Omaha appointments on the Omaha days. Most of my appointments from the radio comes from Omaha because that's where the show is at on KFAB. So what happens is I would like to get them in the next 2 weeks, but like right now we are so booked up. I'm only going to take 4 appointments a day. And I'm not going to
Hmm.
have more than 4 appointments. I mean, at this stage of the game, it's hard for me to do more than 4 appointments a day. So I heard my administrator lining an appointment up, and it was 3.5 weeks out. I hate to go that far out, but that's the earliest that they could get on in without me not being booked up. And so
Right.
normally, a normal person that doesn't have that many appointments, no, I mean, they like to have the appointment within 2 weeks.
Yeah, I just
But
sent
you
a poll
call them,
out. People
yep,
that have interest in getting some more information on Boss Radio, check off yes on the poll I just sent out. And if you have interest in that, just mark off yes, and we'll have Dave's office make an appointment with you. We'll have someone of our office here give you a call to verify when the best time is to meet with Dave on the phone. It's a half an hour, isn't it, Dave, on the initial
yeah, it's
consultation?
like 20, 25 minutes. I tell you what, all we're seeing is could there be any interest in doing radio? And I'll tell you
Hmm.
right now, it depends. Depends on what's available. I mean, we're looking up in the north, this North Midwest right now. It's a great city. It's just whether or not we can. There's a big station, and that's the one we want to get on. And last time we tried, we couldn't get on it, and we waited and waited, and just never got on. So we're trying again. And this is about
Right.
a year later. So sometimes they're open and sometimes they're not. But that's what we do, and we do the legwork for you. So we'll keep this poll up. Just keep the poll up,
Yep.
and then don't move that poll. And I'm just going to talk about a couple things. One is that when the call center goes in and sets the appointment, it goes right into the email. They press the button, boom, you see everything about it, where it came from, the date of the appointment, and like this one here, it just says turning 59 soon, hasn't settled on someone yet, meaning a financial advisor. He has a 401k that is seven figured. Also had questions about Social Security. I coach people up on Social Security also, because Social Security is a very, very hot topic. About 35% of all of my business that comes in from radio has some kind of initial start from Social Security. There's a website. It's our website, www.retirementbossradio.com. www.retirementbossradio.com. If you go on there, that gives you a good idea. There's some information there. There's a white paper. There's kind of the turnkey system, all the ins and outs that we talked about. So as we're filling this out, and I see that we have maybe one or two more questions, but there's an old adage that says, procrastination is my sin. It brings me constant sorrow. I really shouldn't practice it. Perhaps I'll stop. Well, tomorrow never comes. Don't let that happen to you.
Hmm.
If you saw something today, and we have a pretty good amount of people that are on the webinar this morning. If you've never thought about radio, you should mark yes. If you thought about radio but just said, you know what, probably too expensive, or probably, I mean, I don't want to just be handing out information. This system is set up for strictly appointments and nothing else. I mean, and that's where it all starts. It's not set up to write business. It's set up to set the appointment to write business. So that's very, very important. It's educational in nature. It's turnkey. And if you mark yes, then Dave Corwin will call you, and then he'll just set up. He's got our calendar, and we'll get with your calendar, and have a good time for them to meet with me on the phone and to talk for 15, 20 minutes and just get an idea of what you're doing and where you'd like to go, and is there any way that I can help you, especially from the radio side. So, Matt, do you have any other questions on your side right now?
Yeah, another question just came up, Dave. I know you just talked about this client that just responded
Yep,
regarding, retiring 59 and a half and
yep,
looking at their 401k, trying to figure out what to do with that.
yep.
Now, when you meet with these people, are you seeing like a good spread between the security side and the insurance side? Are you seeing, I mean, one outweigh the other? I mean, kind of show the importance of having both sides of it covered?
Well, I think it's better, but it's certainly, we've got insurance guys right now that are doing very, very well with just insurance alone, meaning that they're either doing fixed indexed, fixed, or IULs, single premium IULs, or IULs that are paying over a 5 or 10 or 15 year period of X amount of dollars. That's really where we're seeing a lot. But you know what? We've gotten Medicare business from it. We're not a life shop, but there's people that get a lot of life business. I will say this: is it better to be able to cover all your bases? I think so, because I've had those licenses for
Hmm.
40 years. But you know what? If you're just security licensed and not insurance licensed, it can work for you. If you're just insurance licensed from protection and not security licensed, it certainly can work for you. Do you leave some on the board? Yeah, just like in normal life. But if I was just insurance licensed, Matt, I'd be doing a lot more, and I still do my share, but I'd be
Right.
doing more fixed index and fixed because that's what I could show. So it
Hmm.
doesn't, to me, it makes no difference. But most people right now, after the bull run we've had, going through the pandemic, knowing that inflation's going up, knowing that taxation looks like it's going up, most people are concerned about the money they've made and the profit they've made. More people want to be conservative. This meeting that I got on 600,000, they've got 85% of it in stocks right now. I mean, stock funds. Through
Right.
it's actually, this was actually in a variable annuity. But what happens is, they want protection. I mean, they're very concerned. I mean, their goal is to not lose money. Well, that's just right up my alley. I mean, I put everything in the fixed index? I won't personally, because I don't like to do all or none. But if I was only fixed index license, would 100% go there? You darn right it would. So to answer your question, no, I think it's better to have both. But can you have just security or just insurance and do just fine here? Absolutely.
Hmm.
Yep.
Another question came up, Dave. What's the time frame, from start to, when you first have interest in getting into Boss Radio, getting things set up? I mean, what's your delay typically, between getting started and get that first show knocked out?
Yeah. A month. It's a month to 6 weeks.
Okay.
A month, and we coach. So I coach people up. If it's Social Security, I'm going to coach you 3 Social Security sessions. And if you don't need Social Security or tuned up on that, then we do 2 Retirement Boss Radio coaching. So it's either going to be 2 coachings or up to 5 coachings. All of that's covered. I get paid from IAMS. I'm not in your hierarchy. I don't go in and I'm not participating in your commission in any possible way. I get a stipend from IAMS, a monthly stipend for having on board and coaching you, and you can use me as that coaching on Social Security. There's no cost on that either. So because the IAMS again pays for me to coach you up, so it's a pretty cool thing for the individual. I don't know if there's any FMOs, field marketing organizations like IAMS that has a program like this that has the coaching help that we have.
Definitely a benefit in be able to cover all your bases regarding Social Security and other
Yeah.
items that come up during your conversation with clients, and they're looking for some guidance on when maybe they want to start taking their Social Security. Are they better off by delaying it? I mean, obviously there's a lot of factors that go into that.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, I will say this as we kind of end the show today. Don't, just because it's radio, if it sounds intimidating, I will tell you right now, it's not. Remember when you were a little kid and you learned to ride your bike the very first time? My dad took me to the baseball diamond field, so I just didn't have bad skinned up knees. But pretty soon, it's just like riding a bike, and that's just how this radio program is. What seems complicated in the beginning, all the components start working together for you. Al Joel said, I like to do the radio just like pictures, leave the imperfect stuff on the cutting room floor. The nice thing is, no matter how bad your mistake is, you can just do it over again. They can just cut it out. They being the production company. I mean, that this morning I had one where I just kind of got goofed up talking, and I mixed around a word. I said, "Let's go ahead and start over again on that section." Boom, we started over. There's nothing, and they make it sound just like it's live. It's Dave Pimper with Retirement Boss Radio, and also co-hosting with Matt Tour with the FMO of Insurance Agency Marketing Services. We appreciate the time you spent with us today, and hope you have a real productive week. And I'm looking forward, because I know a lot of people marked yes. I'm looking forward to talking to each and one of you, and hopefully helping you with some of your radio/marketing needs and goals here in the future.
Well, I appreciate your time, Dave, this morning. I can see why you're in radio as opposed to TV based on that initial picture I saw. So good job staying on the radio side, brother.
Yeah. Thank you very much. And you are
got
so
it.
right.
Otherwise,
Okay.
appreciate everyone's time this morning. We, it's always tough to take some time off on a Tuesday morning, but appreciate you taking the effort to get on board this morning. Our office is going to call everyone that did attend today, and they'll be discussing, if you want to have some interest in getting hooked up with Dave regarding get some more information on the radio side. Maybe you have some interest on the seminar side as opposed to radio. He can also go over that with you, so kind of get two birds with one stone there. So if you have anything that you have questions on, this is Matt Tour. You can give me a call and get off this morning's show, and we'd be glad to get those answered. Otherwise, Dave Corn from my office will be giving you a call, setting up any appointments that you may need with Dave in his office. Otherwise, everyone enjoy your summers, enjoy your 4th of July weekend coming up. Anything you want to finish up with here, Dave?
No, just thank you for spending time with us, and hopefully have a great week going forward.
Sounds good, Dave. You have a good 4th, and we'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good. Okay, bye-bye, everybody.
Bye now.